What's up, everybody? It's Penny Wild, the Black Pen. I just want to give a shout out to Garmentz. This nice t-shirt that you can see here. Garmentz sponsored this video that you're watching now. Please go check them out on Instagram. I think on Instagram it's at Garmentz with a Z __. And then on Facebook it's Garmentz with a Z with a dot. So if you just put GARMENTZ, you might not find the right page, but you have to put a dot at the end. But I'll put links to the Facebook page and to their Instagram page in the description below. This video is basically going to cover some of the ways that you guys can raise funding. I used to work for one of my mentors, Vuyo Jack, when I just landed in Joburg and I just finished doing my honors in accounting. And I remember we traveled around South Africa interviewing a lot of entrepreneurs, interviewing a lot of young people who wanted to get into business or who wanted to grow their businesses. And one of the main reasons we found that businesses were struggling was a lack of funding. So I want to give you a few tips on how to maybe get funding for your business. I want to maybe refer some institutions you can kind of go to. And then I want to give a shout out to Garmentz officially, and also maybe plug you guys in some side hustles for you to maybe go and look into. So where do I start? Let me start here. A lot of entrepreneurs, young people, business people struggle to raise funding because they struggle with a few things. I think a lot of people, when they speak funding, maybe in their heads, they think someone's randomly going to see their business and say, hey, here's $1 million. The reality is the first and most important aspect of getting funding is to have financials. And unfortunately, most South Africans, most black people are not financially literate at all. They don't understand the difference between an asset and a liability, income and expenses. They don't know what financial statements are. They don't know what a cash flow statement is, what a balance sheet is, what an income statement is. So if that's your issue, it's going to become difficult to raise funding from anyone. Think of it in this way. If you work for a certain company and you want to go and get a loan, you know what they ask for. They ask for proof of address, they ask for your ID, and most importantly, they ask for your payslip. A payslip is a form of a financial statement for the individual, because what it does is it shows that I work for someone, I get paid a certain amount, and you guys can go and verify it with my employer. What business financial statements do is they help you do a similar thing like a payslip for your business. What is your income? What are your expenses? Do you have profit? Do you have extra money that can pay back this loan, whatever the case may be? Are you a business that can grow? Do you have a balance sheet? And a balance sheet is for your assets and liabilities. Do you own any vehicles? Do you own any property? Do you have any patents or copyrights or some intangible assets? And do you have liabilities? Do you owe anyone money? Do you owe the bank for a property loan? Do you owe for a car loan? Did someone maybe loan you money? And how are you managing that? Very, very important. If you need to start somewhere, try and see if you can get an accountant, get a bookkeeper. If you know a kid that is studying accounting at university, at a University of Technology, please start with them because they have a basic understanding of financial statements. And where you can, try and reach out to institutions that can help you with that. Tip number 2, if you already have a business, if you've started a business, it doesn't matter how small it is. You can be a guy selling fruits and vegetables on the side of the road. You can be umama who's selling cooked food somewhere. This is my second tip in helping you to get funding. Try and do as many of your transactions as possible through the bank. Don't use cash where you can avoid it. If you're going to buy stock, swipe. If you have to pay a supplier, send an EFT. This is very important because what happens is then when your accountant or your bookkeeper or even your auditor comes, they can then track all your transactions easily on this document, and you don't have to think, slips, receipts, invoices get lost. You don't remember what you spent where. You don't even remember where you got money from for what. Many people struggle to keep things written. When you transact through your bank account, it can be a personal account, it's fine, before you register your business. But at least it's easy to then track and trace money that came in, money that went out, and who it went to. And where you are sending EFTs, make sure that your reference is as accurate as possible. If you've got an employee and you send them transport, write the employee transport as a reference. If you are paying for rent for your business, you write the business rent. And whoever's paying you money, ask them to also reference accordingly so that when whoever your financial expert, service provider, etc. is going through this, they can see very easily where this money is going, who sent it, what is the reference here. That is very, very important for you guys to consider. Try and transact as much as possible through a bank account. And in the same breath, if you can, there's a lot of POS systems today. A lot of the banks have got their own gadgets for people that can swipe or tap. Yoko, one of the biggest success stories in South Africa, also provides these things. Get those and get as many people as possible to pay you. Yes, you pay a fee for them paying, but I can tell you now, in the quest for getting funding, it becomes so much easier to be able to track those transactions in that way. As I've already said, and I've written it here to emphasize, please get a bookkeeper and accountant to compile what is known as monthly management accounts. I spoke about financial statements, which you still need to kind of understand. Monthly management accounts is essentially money that came in, money that went out. How does that look? Did you buy anything that looks like an asset? Did you take on anything that looks like a liability? And every month they compile these things. You might be like, no, but accountants are expensive and I don't have money for a bookkeeper. That price that you're going to pay is going to be worth it when you go raising funding, because you already know your things are in order. And if it's too expensive, it's something you can't afford, shop around. Like I said, start at university. If you're on social media, type in, hi guys, I'm looking for an accountant and a bookkeeper. And whoever you speak to, tell them, my business only makes 5,000 Rand a month. My business makes 30,000 Rand a month. My business makes 100,000 Rand a month. So you already know I don't have a lot of money. What can you do for me at a rate that I can afford? Maybe you can't do much. Maybe you can advise me. Look, just send me your bank statements. I'll feed them into the software and then I'll report out something that looks like an income statement for you to at least have to track how your business is doing. Outside of just raising funding, doing these exercises is good for you to actually see if your business is worth anything. I know business people, I know entrepreneurs that are making a lot of money every month. 200,000, 500,000, some are making 1 million. So when you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, this person's making money, until you see their income statement. All of a sudden, you see that their expenses are very high. The salaries they pay, the rent they pay, their suppliers. You might look at their balance sheet and then you realize, but this guy's got a lot of debt. And as much as he's making 500,000 Rand a month, he can't even afford to pay himself a salary because his cost of sales is so high and he's got so much debt. So this exercise actually helps give a framework of, is my business actually worth anything? Is it really, really succeeding? For those of you who are trying to raise funding, maybe these are some of the tips then that I'm going to get into some of the institutions. Before you go anywhere, if you are an employee, if you're privileged to have a job, your first point of call when you want funding is your payslip. I've already mentioned it. I'm mentioning it again. Before you think about monthly management accounts and financial statements for your business, you have a payslip. You need 20,000 Rand. You need 100,000. Use your payslip, go to the bank and apply for a personal loan. Outside of a personal loan, apply for a credit card. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've met who kickstarted a business using their payslip, using their credit card. And how many business people have been saved by their partner, their husband, their wife, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, who have a payslip, who can then go and take out a loan to help them out. So if you are privileged to have a job, your payslip is your first point of call to say, I actually have a payslip and I just need 50,000. Go and apply for a personal loan. Use that personal loan to then go and start your business or invest in your business. Number 2, family and friends. Very important. They speak about the three Fs when you're looking for funding. Look, it's a joke, it's tongue-in-cheek, but hey, the 3 Fs are your friends, family, and fools. So fools are people that are stupid enough, just like you, to believe that your business idea is going to work. But the other important one is your friends and family. And also, you should never feel entitled to their money. You need to pitch to them. If they're giving you a loan, you must be able to maybe draft a basic contract on paper, even in pen, to say, look, you're borrowing me 2,000 Rand to go and buy some supplies. and I'm going to take this 2,000 Rand and I'm going to go and do something with it. And I'm going to pay you maybe 200 Rand every month for the next 15 months, as an example. Pitch to your family and friends. If you're blessed like me to have a mother like Umamsi that loves me, your mom will invest in you, because your mom is part of the fools who thinks, oh my gosh, my child is so amazing. She might invest in you. Your dad might be like, hey, my boy is looking like he really likes this thing that he's doing. Let me see if I can put a bit of money in there. If maybe I don't put cash, maybe I borrow them my car. You want to start a business in courier, you want to start an Uber business, maybe your mom or your dad or your sibling is like, look, let me get you a car, or I have a car sitting around. Let me kickstart your business in that way. So the 3 F's, family, friends, and fools, is another a starting point for you to get funding. Okay. And then I want to go through a short list of certain funding institutions. This list is from 2022. It might be a bit outdated. I know there's a lot of other institutions that I'm not going to mention here. And if you have any, please drop them in the comments so that other people can benefit from this education and information. And in advance, I want to say thank you for sharing that information. Number 1, the DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry. I don't know if it still has, but it had a collection of funding schemes that were aimed at small businesses. Go and type in Department of Trade and Industry South Africa, go to the website, try and search there, or DTI and search small business funding and see what you can find online. That's a good place to go. Some of the options that they have or they had under the DTI included Agro Processing Support Scheme, APSS, Automotive Investment Scheme for cars, the AIS, Business Process Services, BPS, Support Program for Industrial Innovation, SPII, the Critical Infrastructure Program, CIP, and the Manufacturing Investment Program, MIP. And to be honest, you might not have a business idea. If you go to their website and you see some of these things, you might come up with some ideas, just seeing what funds are out there and the people that have the money, which type of businesses they're trying to throw money at so that maybe you can get into that avenue. Number 2, the National Youth Development Agency, NYDA, has a grant program for young people, young entrepreneurs. They give you a grant. It's not a loan. You come through, you give them quotations, slips, invoices. This is what I need. I need some podcasting equipment. Hey, dog, I'm going to be the next Black Pen. I'm going to be the next Mac G. And they're like, okay, let's review. Let's see if you have a business plan and if they're happy, you get a grant. That's a very good place to start as well. At the time, the maximum amount for small businesses in one cycle was 250,000 Rand, a good amount of money to kickstart. Start at the bank. Start at a bank, whatever bank you bank with. Capitec now has a business banking division. Walk into the bank. Hi, I'd like a business loan. Do you have a business? Yes, no. Do you have financial statements? I don't know what that is. I want you guys to tell me, how can I get business funding from you? I want to sit down with a consultant who's going to take me through exactly what type of businesses you guys fund, how much money you offer, and what you need from me. Must I register my business? Must I have 2 years, 3 years annual financial statements? Must they be audited? What does that mean? Where do I go? How do you guys approve? And do you have any success stories? This is also a key one. Do you have any success stories that I can sort of lean into to say, I'd like to go and find out how that person structured their business plan, their funding application, so that they can get funding. Go to the bank. Banks are in the business of loaning money to individuals and to businesses. You can be one of those businesses. And a lot of people feel like they can't get money from the banks. But when you ask them that first tip I gave you, they don't even know what an income statement is. So how are you going to get money from a bank if you don't have the pay slip of businesses to offer to the bank? SEFA, Small Enterprise Finance Agency, which was a spin-off from CEDA, which was the Small Enterprise Development Agency, helping entrepreneurs to draft business plans, how to budget, how to manage cash flow, how to turn their ideas into something tangible. And then they created this finance agency, funding agency to fund businesses that had normally gone through this program. The agency was set up to foster the establishment and growth of small and medium enterprises. SEFA provides development finance to SMEs and cooperatives that are not able to attract commercial credit. SEFA grants, loans, and other forms of business development financing range between 50,000 Rand and 5 million rand. A really good place to go. Go to SEFA, search for SEFA online, and go and see what they have. This one is an example. This next one, it's an example, and I know there are a number of funds targeted just at women. I mentioned the NYDA, which is for the youth under 35. There are funding agencies just targeted at women and women empowerment. This one is called Isivande Women's Fund. One of South African government's financial assistance schemes. It is an exclusive fund that aims to accelerate women's economic empowerment by providing more affordable, usable, and responsive finance than is currently available. At the time, the fund provided for financing between 30,000 Rand and 2 million Rand if you are a woman. If you are a woman and you're young, even better. People want to throw money at your business, but your business must be viable. There was the Kula Enterprise Fund or Kula Enterprise Finance, a South African state-owned enterprise that was established in 1996 to focus on promoting and developing SMEs. The body did not give out loans, which was also my understanding around Kula, but it made it possible for deserving individuals and enterprises to get funding from other South African financial institutions. What they generally did is they would be the surety or the collateral or the guarantor to say, we've reviewed this person, you can fund them. If anything goes wrong, it's on us. Kula's a really good platform to go and look into also just to understand how these things kind of work. I don't know if the South African Microfinance Apex Fund still exists. This one is under the Ministry of Economic Development in South Africa. They would then plug you into a whole lot of other funding agencies that they can assist with. So if you type in, if you search Ministry of Economic Development, especially per province, because I know in Gauteng we have the GEP, the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. So you've got a Minister of Economic Development, you've got MECs of Economic Development in the various provinces. Find out what funding agencies are available from them. Black Business Supply Development Program, which was under the DTI, and I know they had the Black Industrialists Program at the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation, which has funded a lot of our big companies all the way through back in apartheid, etc. Please go and look them up as well for funding opportunities. And I'm not sure if Umsobomvu Youth Fund is still available. If it is, please go check it out. But back in 2022, it was still viable for young people under the age of 35. I've already mentioned CEDA, but CEDA has a lot more to do with helping you develop so that you have a fundable type of business, and then you can go and look for financing. Last two that I'm going to mention is number one, crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is essentially like a stokvel. You go online, you go to your friends, you're starting a business, you tell them what the business is about, you ask them to come through, you guys have a meeting. I mean, Jack Ma started Alibaba in this way, invited people into a room. This is my idea. Can you guys put some money together? Let's see how it goes. And you guys can come through. In South Africa, we've had the People's Fund as an example of a crowdfunding business. We've had Brown Sense, which is an example of a crowdfunding initiative. And there are many others. Stokvels, in essence. You go and you find a stokvel and you say, let me see if the stokvel can fund my business and let's see how we can make it work. And then last but not least, this is very big normally for tech, is venture capital. Venture capital investors seek private equity, so they want a share in a company in exchange for investing in that company. These investors typically focus more on startups instead of established businesses. Some call them angel investors as well. They fall under the fools in the 3 Fs. So venture capitalists these days are normally for tech, but who knows? Type in venture capital South Africa and see if there are venture capitalists for cannabis. I don't know about crypto or crypto mining, maybe in media, someone who maybe has established themselves in a certain industry and then has realized that, look, I think these are sort of the startups that I want to be involved in and I want to work in. As I close off, again, I want to give a shout out to Garmentz. Shout out to Garmentz. I made a TikTok the other day speaking to unemployed people, speaking to people that have jobs that are looking to find a side hustle. Very, very important. I gave some tips. Fiverr.com for some people, Fiverr.com. Great place for people who are graphic designers, who maybe can do some type of online remote work. There are opportunities aplenty there. I gave yaga.co.za, yaga.co.za. It's almost like a bartering online platform. And again, if you know any such similar, please drop them in the comments for people to learn. And I gave a shout out to Facebook Marketplace. I know a lot of people have made money in the Facebook Marketplace, whether they are selling furniture, used furniture, whether they're selling appliances, a PlayStation game, a bicycle, whatever the case may be. Facebook Marketplace became a big platform in the same vein as your OLX, your Gumtree, your junk mail. These become platforms for people to inculcate this hustling, side hustle, side income type of initiative. And then I want to give a shout out to Garmentz. I've been working with Garmentz for a while. They focus on reject clothing, but they also do brand new clothing. So if you're interested in selling branded clothing, they supply that in bulk. If you're looking for plain t-shirts, different colors, they supply that. And I know there's a hustle that some people that I know make a lot of money from when election season is coming. So local elections in South Africa are coming in 2026. Political parties are going to be looking for red t-shirts, blue t-shirts, lime t-shirts, green t-shirts, yellow t-shirts. If you can stockpile those closer to the elections, trust me, people are going to be buying those at a premium so that they can brand them with their favorite political party. You can speak to Garmentz to see if you can maybe get into that type of business. But the t-shirt business, which generates over 3 billion rand every year in South Africa, is a business that's not going to die anytime soon. Almost everyone wears a t-shirt. Almost every company at some point needs t-shirts for an event, for their employees, to give away, for charity, for school events, etc., etc. So you can contact them for that. Additionally, they also supply school shoes in bulk. Back to school is coming in a month or two, maybe for your school, maybe for your nonprofit organization that maybe donates school shoes to needy kids. Please reach out to them. I also know they have an initiative where if you are doing it for charity, they will also give you extra school shoes as their way of contributing to the good that you're doing for society and for communities out there. GARMENTZ. On Facebook, on Instagram. I'll drop links in the description. Shout out to Garmentz. Shout out to them for this t-shirt. They've got really good quality products. They've got so many other things that they push, that they promote, and you'll see those when you go and visit them online. I think that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. If you learned from this video, please make sure that you comment below. If maybe there's something you didn't understand, ask questions below. If there's more information you would like to share, you would like to find out, please ask your questions. Please give your suggestions. Please share that information below. Feel free to share links. Feel free to plug other people. And let's try and create an entrepreneurial, a hustling culture in South Africa where we have incredibly high unemployment and where even people that have jobs always need an extra bit of cash just to push them in the month. Thank you for watching this video. Penuel, the Black Pen. Cheers.